Watching the CBDT TV18 budget coverage live from our budget headquarters. Joining me now, Najib Shah, Chairman of the CBEC, and Sushil Chandra, Chairman of the CBDT. Gentlemen, appreciate you joining us. Mr. Chandra, I think you're responsible for the market rally that we've seen today by way of doing away with that circular which had spooked investors. What made you want to change your mind? Was it because of the negative reaction that had come in?
No, we thought about that. And that is why FPI 1 and FPI category 2, we gave absolutely exemption from the internal transfers details because they are structured companies. So we thought that way and we gave exemptions to them. And that is why I think all foreign FPIs are happy about that.
Okay. Let me also ask you, sir, specifically about the roadmap now as far as increasing the tax to GDP ratio is concerned post demonetization. You know, we've got lots of numbers of how many accounts, deposits, what's being analyzed and so on and so forth. What can we realistically expect? What kind of increase in tax to GDP ratio can we expect?
We can't give exactly figures at this time, definitely. But definitely, as you are saying, that we have got large accounts, more than 1 crore. I think from 80 lakh rupees above, we have got 1,43,000 accounts in which the amounts have been deposited more than 80 lakh. And if you see from 2 lakh onwards, we have got more than 1 crore of accounts in which the amount...
The former RBI Governor, Mr. Subbarao, said at least a 1% increase in the tax to GDP ratio should be expected from this entire exercise. Would that be a fair estimate?
I think we will have to wait for another year to find out exactly what are the numbers. But definitely we will do our level best to bring those persons into the tax net and to realize the realizable taxes which has been deposited in the bank account without paying taxes.
What is the roadmap now? Because some of the recommendations of the SIT have been accepted, doing away with cash transactions about 3 lakh rupees. What else can we expect on this front as you wage this battle against black money?
You just see that we have stopped all payments above 3 lakh rupees in cash. In income tax also we have changed that earlier up to 20,000 rupees expenditure was not allowed in cash beyond that. And now this limit has been reduced from 20,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees. Similarly, for political parties and other charitable trusts, the donations in cash can be given only rupees 2,000. It cannot be given more than that. So we are moving towards the cashless society and we want that everything should be in banking channels and digitalization.
One recommendation that you haven't accepted, or I don't know whether you plan to but haven't yet, is the tax on cash withdrawals above 50,000 rupees, which was a recommendation of the Chandrababu Naidu panel to disincentivize cash use. Is that something that's being looked at?
No, you just see that. Now we wanted that it should be in the bank. If we put a cash transactions on the withdrawal also, then a person would like to keep it in the cash. Why should he put it in the bank? That will go against that particular theory.
So, would it be fair to say that that is a recommendation that's been rejected in a sense?
No, actually, we have thought about that. We have not thought about that recommendations. We have gone for the cashless type of a thing, that we are going more for digitization. So let the money should remain in the bank, and we will work on that.
Mr. Shah, not too much by way of indirect taxes, and that's because we're waiting for the GST to roll out. Working with 1st of July as the timeline?
Yes, as of now, and that seems very, very doable, achievable, and has to be done, in fact.
So what can we now expect? There's a next meeting of the GST Council on the 18th. In the last meeting, there seems to have been a breakthrough on the issue of dual control, which has not left the CBEC very happy. Let's be honest about that. But in terms of classification, in terms of finalizing rates, service tax rate has not been finalized yet. What is the roadmap now?
The next meeting will see the finalization, hopefully, of the law, because that is a very, very important part of the entire process. The rules will also have to get finalized because this is essential for the businesses to put in place their business processes. Thereafter, we would move on to the rates, which the GST Council will, of course, determine.
Okay. Can we get some sense of whether the committee has decided on the product classification, on the rates, and that's what you intend to take to the GST Council, or has the committee yet not finalized its recommendations?
The committee is examining everything right now. We'll be meeting, and they will take the process forward. And once they are ready, they will bring it to the council.
Is the matter of cess now a closed chapter in terms of which are the products that the cess will be levied on, the mechanics of and the quantum of the cess and how it will be levied?
What we have done is to finalize some sort of a compensation cess act, A lot of the cesses currently being charged under the various indirect taxes will all move to this compensation cess. And those cesses will get subsumed, obviously, in GST. We are hoping that these cesses, which we'll raise through the Compensation Act, will take care of the requirements of the states. But those are things, again, which are matters of detail we'll get to know a little later.
You know, as we move towards the GST rollout, the concern is in that initial teething period, what happens as far as indirect tax collections are concerned. So you're factoring in about an 8.8% growth in indirect tax collections. What could be the possible challenges that you foresee?
As of now, we do believe that this 8.8 is a doable figure. Remember, for the last 2 years in a row, our collections have been very, very good.
Yes.
So the 8.8% is above what we have been doing thus far. So it is challenging, but it is doable. And thereafter, we move to the GST regime, where there will be some degree of uncertainty, definitely in the initial days. And the latter half of the year will show us exactly how much revenue we're able to collect through the GST process itself.
One of the big revenue kickers was actually the excise benefit on account of petroleum. I mean, that's responsible for a large windfall. But that's no longer going to be the case in the coming year.
Well, all these goods are still outside the GST regime. So they'll continue to give us revenue from the central excise, for the central excise. So remember, all the 5 petroleum products are out of the GST regime.
Sure.
So we are hoping that that revenue will continue to keep coming, unless we look at the rates for one reason or another.
Okay. Let me ask you, sir, then, you know, what we can realistically expect now as you investigate these accounts, as you go about mining the data that you've collected post-demonetization. How soon will notices, etc., be sent out? I understand that it's going to be non-intrusive, and that's the plan that you worked out, but give people who are watching this reason not to be worried.
They need not to worry. The genuine person who has genuinely put his savings need not to worry at all. That is why we have done this particular data mining, and we have done the matching also. Whatever data has come to us, we have matched up with the profile. Whether if you file the return of income and your savings, the deposits, are in accordance with the return which you have filed or the balance sheets which you have shown, we are not putting this data at all in even the site. We are accepting that data. The data which is not matching with your returns profile at all, only that particular, in initial phase, we have put 18 lakh data of those assessees who have put more than 5 lakh rupees in the deposit and the suspicious transaction between 3 to 5 lakh rupees. And we are asking the online response to those persons. They are supposed to give online response within 10 days.
Okay.
If they don't give it in 10 days, or if it is found that it is absolutely not matching, first we will close those accounts in which you are finding that your response is fine. We will close that online
What
itself.
is the status of the investigations of the Jan Dhan accounts?
Jan Dhan accounts, if the amount is also deposited more than that particular amount, we will examine that.
Okay.
Or if they have been misutilized by somebody else, then also we will examine those particular accounts.
Okay. So priorities, the budget is over and done with. The number one priority for you now, Mr. Shah, because this is now going to be the last lap if we have to do GST on the 1st of July.
Yes, indeed. And we have to do it on the 1st of July. I mean, we are all very confident about it. So this is going to be a hectic last lap. And hopefully everything will get sorted out and we will be ready for implementing the GST.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck, Mr. Chandra. Najib Shah, appreciate you joining us. Chairmen of the CBEC and the CBDT here on CNBC TV 18, taking us through what they've made of the budget math. You're not giving me a tax to GDP number yet, but I hope that that we will see that number go up as well. We'll take a break, but we're coming right back to you. We will be in conversation with the West Bengal Finance Minister Amit Mitra after this break.